Inside the city of Pflugerville, we have a large variety of wildlife that lives all the time inside of our city limits. Some of those are predators, and coyotes, bobcats, foxes, as well as owls and other raptors like hawks are all predators that can pose some risk to household pets. Owls can take animals up to 13 pounds, so small dogs, small cats are at risk with the raptors, though hawks can't take quite as large of animals as owls can. Coyotes and bobcat, foxes, their normal diet does not consist of dogs and cats, but they are opportunistic hunters, and if it presents itself as an opportunity, they might take one. Oftentimes they will walk away from that because they're hunting rabbits or rodents. Those are their primary food sources. But there are things that also draw these into our citizens' yards that they're not aware of. Such as people leaving dog food outside, cat food outside, fallen fruit off of trees. Coyotes will eat that. Also bird seed. Coyotes will sometimes eat bird seed, and often some of these predators are hunting, and you're drawing rodents or other animals, small animals, into your yard that are eating the bird seed or eating the fallen fruit, and they are there hunting those things. So in order to try and discourage these predator-type wildlife to not come into your yard, you need to remove water sources. You need to secure your garbage where that's not going to draw them up from the odors of that. Remove pet food daytime and nighttime. Try and feed them inside, or feed them and pick up the food once they finish eating. Offer it again later in the day and pick it up when they haven't eaten it all, instead of letting them free feed. That way those wildlife is not going to be coming up. It also draws raccoons and possums and some other wildlife that'll come up and eat that if it's available. So removing those sources. Also brush in your yard. If you have wood piles or brush piles or really brushy areas, or even firewood stacked up that might hold rodents that coyotes or bobcats might be hunting, or places that rabbits can hide. If they sense that in your yard, they're going to be coming to hunt in it. So if you clear up those areas and make it nice and neat and uninviting for wildlife, then you're less likely to draw these things into your yard. Coyotes and bobcats can both climb fences. Also, gray foxes can, red foxes cannot. There are things that you can put out in your yard, like coyote rollers on the top of your fences that keep wildlife from climbing up and over your fence. It kind of makes them roll backwards into the area that they were coming from, and it also prevents your pets from climbing out. You can also do the scarecrow type sprinkler systems that will shoot out some water when motion sets off the sprinkler, that'll discourage those animals from coming into the yard. If you're having a problem with wildlife like raccoons and things coming on your porch, most wildlife does not like the smell of ammonia, and you can put rags or sponges or tennis balls soaked in ammonia out around, and that discourages them from coming around. Now, once the ammonia dissolves and dissipates, then you've got to refresh those to keep it out. But if you're having trouble with wildlife, even like living up under your deck or something, you've got raccoons or possums or something, if you throw those soaked ammonia rags or things up under there, that will often encourage them to leave and move on to another area. Pflugerville Animal Welfare Services does not respond to trap and remove wildlife as a general rule. If animals are injured or if they're sick, we will respond to those calls, but for wildlife presence in general, we don't come and trap and remove them from the city limits. There is no way to trap and remove all the wildlife. Food availability is what keeps them here. In fact, the populations inside the city are vastly larger than out in forest areas because they're the food sources available. So removing those food items from your yard will help reduce that wildlife population overall. We do respond for animals that are rabies suspects, that they're acting sick, injured, drunken, stumbling around, they're not acting normal. A lot of wildlife is out during the daytime, just that their presence outside doesn't mean that they're rabid. If you spot a coyote or a bobcat inside the city, we don't need notification on that unless it seems to be following you, acting aggressively towards a person or a domestic animal, or if it is injured or sick, and then we want to be notified on those items. We do want our citizens to coexist successfully in our community with wildlife. So if you have questions or concerns, you can contact us at 512-990-7387.